Hi there. So, for my final tech task, I am to speak of my learning highlights, struggles, the blended format, the independent learning, and anything else about this class that I wish to. My highlights or favorite things I have taken away from this class are my favorite thing is creating my blog in general and learning how to use it. I really like the idea of using a blog in my future classroom as a way to showcase the students' learning as well as to get the parents involved. When saying this to Melissa, she had mentioned a few things to keep in mind, such as to find a way to get the site visited by parents, that a blog is only a good resource if people visit it and if the parents know it exists and how to navigate through it. She also said an idea is to have the children show their parents how to do this, that it is the children who drive the parents. Another highlight of mine was learning about all the different web tools that can be integrated into the classroom. Some of my favorites are Prezi, Wordle, TED Education, Camtasia, and Little Bird Tales, as well as Skype and Google Docs. I also thoroughly enjoyed learning how to create smart lessons. I have not had the chance yet to use all of the tools, but I do plan to in my future. Another big highlight for me was the smartboard lesson we had last Saturday. Melissa showed us how to create and navigate using it. She introduced smart wristbands that have a USB inside that students can take home with them and are able to access the smart technology needed for these plans. She also stressed that the board needs to be placed low enough for our students to reach and access, that our students are the primary users of the board, not us as the teachers. She also told us to be aware of where we stand when using the board, to stay at the board as much as possible and to not go back and forth to the computer. This will distract the students, and we want to keep them focused and engaged. I really enjoyed the idea of page recording. This is where you as a teacher can record a lesson plan, and the sub you may have can simply hit play. The students will be able to learn the lesson the way you are wanting them to, and not the way the sub may explain it. Another important component I took away from last Saturday was partner work, that when asking students to find an answer using the smartboard, that by working with partners will eliminate the pressure of one student being put on the spot. Also, it is important to keep in mind what other students who are at their desks are doing while observing the students who are at the board. It is important to have them all interacting and to be engaged. Even through arguments, students retain knowledge. As for the flipped classroom approach or the flipped format, which is what we have in this class, what that means is that for most of our class it is online, with the exception of every second Saturday we meet for face-to-face class time. When we do meet in class, it is not your typical teacher lecture class. We are given class time to work on our assignments, and if we have questions, it is then that our instructor will help us find our answers. She uses these opportunities to teach the class and lead discussions. This way, it is student-based learning. I initially did not know if I would like this approach or not. I was nervous with using technology, let alone to have little face-to-face time for support. However, I have really enjoyed it. I was able to contact our instructor whenever I needed to, but she also had a helpful rule. Her rule was the 3 before me rule, which is where you ask 3 friends about your problem before contacting the instructor. This has helped me greatly in this course because I have had a few problems that I can simply just ask my friends for advice and they can share their knowledge. I enjoy the concept of letting the students work through their assignments. Then, when they have questions, to use their questions to lead class discussions and opportunity to teach. I enjoy this approach because it is student-based, and the students will learn what they have questions of and what they are interested in. Overall, I really enjoyed this approach, and there is much I will take from it into my future classroom. As for my struggles, I have had many of those throughout this course. I struggled with just creating my blog in general, then while trying to navigate through it, and I still at times struggle now. I was lucky to have great peers who offered me much help. I struggled with almost every tech task as well, often just because they were new tools for me and I needed ample time to figure out how to use them. Other times I would struggle with how to upload a video to YouTube or to my blog. I struggled with the privacy settings as well. Again, my peers were able to guide me and offer help when I came to each obstacle. I also struggled with a few of the longer readings. It was not that I did not understand them. I just had a hard time staying focused while reading the lengthy articles. I am sure that I will experience struggles my entire career as a teacher and as a student, but I have learned a very helpful tool while being in this class, to simply ask for help from my peers and eventually my coworkers. To summarize all of the above, I've created a few different ways to showcase my learning using the tools I spoke of previously. I created a Wordle, which I will have to fix. And I created little bird tails. This I really found interesting because it will be so fun for kids. The most difficult part I found was trying to find images to go along with the story. I also created the tuxedo, which you can choose shapes and fonts, and I also summarized what I had learned and what I discussed in this tech task. The same thing as what I did for Wordle. I'll have to go back and fix that. These are just some of my learnings that I have taken away from this semester and this ecomp class. I have learned so much, and I will just continue to learn because I don't think that we ever stop learning. Thank you for listening.